And I cannot just go demand like whatever you're paying her, you should pay me because I'm coming to that. That's not how it works. Dilly Shaitan has his style, and that style is something which I've never seen in anybody else. Actually said no to a lot of problematic things written in the script. Recently also in one of my movies, they asked me to say this. I said I won't because it's not right. If it's well written and well made in another language, I think remakes are always welcome.
A national award winner at the age of 26 with a series of critically acclaimed as well as commercial movies in her kitty and now headlining movies of her own. There's no exaggeration to say that she is soaring high. Today, we are in conversation with none other than the extremely talented Aparna Balamurali. Hello Aparna, welcome to the News Minute. First of all, let me start with congratulating you for your big achievement, a national award winner at the age of 26. So tell me, how has the award changed things for you?
Award has I don't know if it has changed anything for me, because see, if in terms of talking about my movies, I've already committed 7 movies. I had already committed it like way before the awards got declared, so that doesn't change. But otherwise it feels great to be known as that one person who has achieved a national award. And I personally feel great that I got it for a movie where I've worked really hard to make that character do justice to that character. Yeah.
So you had previously expressed disappointment that Sundari Gardens did not get a proper theatre release as such, but then it went on to achieve such a pan-Indian appeal, and you were like a verified, a bona fide, pan-Indian star now. So how do you feel about that?
I feel great because, yeah, like how you said, I was not like too disappointed, but I was disappointed because a movie like Sundari Gardens did deserve a theatre release, but unfortunately we didn't get that. But the good part is it had a very global viewership, and everyone worldwide were watching it on the same day probably, or a very close not without any much difference. They were all watching it, and that made me feel good. I got appreciations from a lot of people from around the world, and I think that made me feel really good, apart from the fact that didn't get a theatre release.
Right. So when we track your career, you started by doing smaller roles, obviously, and then there was Maheshinda Pratikaram, which made you like an overnight star. Okay, and then there were these, script after scripts. You entered the Tamil industry, and now there is a national award, like, which is an added responsibility on your shoulder. So how has this been these last few years? Has this been like a whirlwind, and how have you been, facing all of this?
Yeah, it has definitely been like something I never expected. First of all, getting into the Malayalam film industry was something which I never thought I would, and once that that dream got into shaped up as reality, then it was a struggle to select good characters and do good movies, which not really like not all my movies have worked, but still whatever I've whatever I've done from my previous characters, I've learned something from the movie. I've learned something from the set as such, from the whole experience. But as of now, when I have this added responsibility, I feel like see, these things are these are more of whatever we think is what are people expecting from us. That is the main question here. So that is what is putting a pressure on you. If you ask me otherwise, I'm still a person who's learning and trying to explore every levels of acting, and trying to explore how I can do a character from not looking similar to my other characters. Yeah.
So that's where actually Sundari Gardens comes in. when you take Surya Potru, it's like a big movie, as you said, that it received a pan-Indian appeal. And now Sundari Gardens is a small film, and you are headlining it. And now I don't know if this is a difference that came about after the film, Surya Potru itself for the national award. But now films are actually on your shoulders. I feel. I think the next film that is coming out.
Yeah.
Yes. In Uttaram is there, and then Sundari Gardens is there. You are headlining these projects, so this is an added pressure on you, right? How are you facing that?
I do have that pressure, but still, the good part is that I've got good scripts. So these films, both these films, be it Sundari Gardens or Ini Uttaram, they have solid script, and Sundari Gardens is more of a light-hearted film which talks about a woman, her life, her past. I mean, not much about her past, but even after going through all these hurdles, how she's living her life now. And that, I think, was something very different from whatever I've done, whatever I've acted in these years, with a lot of different characters. I feel Sundari Gardens has to do with emotions a lot more than whatever I've done in other movies, especially in Malayalam. And Ini Uttaram is a very intense drama, thriller drama, and that is different in its own way. It is. As you can figure it out from the teaser and teaser, I can't say much about the movie or my character, but it's a very intense thriller and it's a well written thriller.
Right. So on that note itself, now that you're headlining films, it's rare for, actually it is unfortunate, but it is rare for women to be headlining films like that, and at this age you're doing that.
Yeah.
So how is that going for you?
I feel great, and I feel like a lot more movies of this kind should come, and people shouldn't be scared to act or direct or produce a movie like this, because a lot of people are, and see, it's all because of the culture we have followed, like since the past how many years we don't know. We have been asking for the hero, I mean male actor of the movie, and we have been a part of that culture. So it's not anyone's fault. People are trying to change, people are changing. There are generations coming up who are accepting everything, and who are trying to teach the other generations, like this is how it is, this is not how it is, and all those differences. So I think things are changing, but it might take some time because of the way we have come up till date. So I hope there will be a lot more actors and the producers and directors who come up with stories like this,
So actually, I don't know if this is something that you have noticed as an actor, but I have felt like in some of your roles, you have been that woman, that girlfriend who helps the hero, realize his true potential and help him achieve success. But that is this Sundari Gardens is completely different in that terms, because it's your film, and then you are taking that journey, and of course a man is coming into your life, and this difference in the character arc, are you trying to explore these kinds of scripts more?
Yeah, because see, always showing a perfect girl or a perfect girlfriend or a woman does not work always, because see, it works for all of us. We find it very nice, and
many people want to marry Bomi so much.
I know. But Bomi was imperfect in a lot of ways. If you ask if you ask her parents, they won't be happy with Bomi and her decisions, and there'll be similar people like them. And as in case of Sundari Gardens, Sundari Matthews is a character with a lot of flaws, and I feel like those flaws are the things which you can relate to mostly, and not her good side, because she's a librarian who takes care of her mother on her own. She's a divorcee, and she's gone through a lot in her past. She's been through a lot, and she clearly does a mistake when she's selfish, which we all have done at some point, or at least you can ask your friend, like, do you think it's worth the effort you're taking, or worth the a silly mistake you're making? So that's something we all tend to ask our friend or you must have heard it from a friend. So Sundari Matthews is a character with flaws, and I feel like those things make the whole thing, watchable for a lot of women to relate. Yeah.
Right. So actually, I think in Malayalam films, this is one genre that has been sorely lacking as well, the rom-com genre. Yeah. So can we see this as a comeback of the?
Yeah, it's a rom-com film, but more than that, it's a very light-hearted film, and I think that's where the OTT platform plays a big role in Sundari Gardens, because it's not a film to watch in theater with I don't know how many people will watch, and like considering our present situation, there'll be it's not a movie to just watch 2 hours and then go back home. I think Sundari Gardens is a film where you can sit, you can relax, take your time, take your space, watch put the movie and sit down, like on a very cozy Sunday night or a Sunday holiday or whatever, a day like that. You can watch this movie. Is
Sunday
what
holiday.
So I think that's where we find it, we find OTT platforms being so important to a lot of films. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have acted in 2 different languages now. Are you planning to I heard that you have a plan to enter Telugu as well.
Yeah, see, the plan was always there. It's just a matter of getting into a good team and the script. Yeah, that's still I'm still working on that, and yeah, I would love to explore a lot of
Sarvam
industries.
Talamayam had a Telugu release.
Yeah, even Surya Potra had a Telugu
yeah.
release. Sarvam Talamayam had a Telugu release, but as such a Telugu movie I haven't done yet. So I really want to explore a lot of industries. I do want to explore definitely. Yeah.
So how do you I mean this difference in the industries, and you're working with obviously there's a different work culture there, the way different actors approach the scripts, the way the technicians approach the work as such. So how do you adapt to this adapt to these differences in the process?
So mainly my differences have what I've felt is mainly the differences come from the technicians. For example, Sudha Kongara, as a director, Sudha ma'am wanted all of us, starting from me to the most senior, the senior most character, Mohan Babu sir's character of the film. She made sure everyone read the script. So that is something you don't see daily in a work, or there have been moments where the directors didn't even want to give me the script. I mean, a lot of people have faced it, but now when I ask for a script, they make sure that I get it, and I read it completely before shoot. So I think that's one difference which I found in Sudha ma'am, and there's a clear pattern on how the shoot was very organized, and they never took a break or they never had a doubt anywhere. So we shot it in 60 days. That was only because of the pre-production she had. Yeah.
So you have worked with quite a few acclaimed directors now, even Rajiv Menon sir. And then there is our Dileesh, of course. So how are these directors different?
I think, basically, Dileesh Etten has his style, and that style is something which I've never seen in anybody else. The way he works, the working pattern of his whole team is very different and relaxed. But Rajiv Menon sir, when he came back after a long period of time, when he took a break, and then when he came back with Sarum Talamam, he had a lot of doubts and everything. But yeah, he's one filmmaker we've always seen and looked up to. I mean, with all his films and music in his films. And coming back to Sudha ma'am, she has her own style where she doesn't give up. She never gives up, and that's one thing which I've always learnt from her. So these all my directors have worked in different styles, and mainly these are the Dileesh Etten's style was very relaxing for me to work.
So are you currently in a position where you can give inputs of yourself to the director, in regarding the film in general itself, or at least regarding, you know, your own character and
Sure,
such?
I can see. It's all about how the set is. Be if we never know it. It need not even take experience. If you look at a boy, he must have. All the content creators right now, they're not that old, and they're not that experienced now, but their contents are really good. So it's not about that. It's about how the other person takes it. So anyone can have an opinion or a suggestion about how this scene can go. I try my best to put in my opinions wherever I can, and if at all they like it, or if at all they are pleased or convinced with my suggestion, they'll definitely take it. And I've worked with people who have, none of them have been like very stubborn or anything.
Tell me about your, you know, acting process as such. Like, are you a completely director's actor, or a more spontaneous one who's like, you know, I'll see where it goes and improvise as, you know, it comes, as such, stuff like that?
I think I am a mixture of both, because if I have a good director, and you will see the difference, definitely yes. But I would also, I'm also a person who likes to add in my, whatever I can improvise in that scene, whatever I feel that character, can do. I am a person like that. But yeah, if you ask me, I'm more of a director's actor only.
And you have acted with quite a few veterans along the way. Like in Veetla Vishesham, you were alongside, you know, Urvashi, Satyaraj and such. So how is that, you know, chemistry working out when you're with any actor as such, especially when, you know, you are coming alongside a veteran?
I think these people are like more, they just they just have their experience, and we say they're aged and all, but they're as young as we are. Probably, I think they're more energetic than we are, and I personally feel like we have a lot to learn from them, because all these years they've been working, they've been in this profession, but I don't think they've changed a lot, or because the way they make us comfortable is something which I'll always be surprised of. Be it Lalita Amma, be it Urvashi Chechi, be it Satyaraj sir, they've all made us so comfortable that I've never felt like I was acting with these people whom senior actors whom we've learnt a lot from, watched their movies like since when, I don't know. Yeah, so I think they play a huge role in making us comfortable, and I absolutely love the way they do it. Yeah.
That note, actually, what is your take on remakes? I mean, Veetla Vishesham itself is a remake. Your films have been remade in other languages. How do you approach those kinds of films?
I don't know. See, in case of Veetla Vishesham, it was a well-written remake. It was more, made for the Tamil audience, and the people really enjoyed it when it, actually was made into Tamil. So I think the thing is, there are certain movies where, so for example, Maheshna Pradiyaram was a movie where a lot of people watched. Even the Tamil audience had watched Maheshna Pradiyaram, the original one. So the thing is, there is a certain reach certain movie gets, and Badai Ho being an absolutely favorite movie of a lot of people, there were places where it did not reach. If you ask the common audience in Tamil Nadu or even in Kerala, I don't know, they might not have seen the movie. So if it's well written and well made in another language, I think remakes are always welcome. It's a good thing that people get to see movies like Badai Ho in their own languages, because it talks a lot to the society about a lot of things. So I think that's a good thing. But if certain movies are regional, if they're made particularly for a place, particularly for a for the atmosphere that place gives, I think those movies should not be remade.
I understand. So, actually, Veetla Vishesham, one interesting thing I had heard during the production time itself, the makers were saying that they wanted to make this particular change, that they didn't want this to be a pro-life film, that they wanted to slightly tweak that to make it more like her choice. So these are the kinds of small politics that people can bring in, and even Sundari Gardens for that matter has a politics of its
Yeah.
own. It has an underlying caste commentary going on and stuff like that. So how important is that for you when you're choosing a script?
It's a very important factor because, see, when in one movie they said you have to, it's your responsibility to bear the child, or it's a life, you shouldn't do, anything to it.
God has given you
Yeah,
this.
God is given the life. In a way, of course, it's a life, but it's also about another life who is carrying it. So, when you're given, when Vitla Vishesham was given that sentence, like, it's your choice, because if you want, you can abort it. If you're not ready for it, you need not, carry the child. It's a huge point because uh, it's in a movie called Revolutionary Road. They get pregnant and they don't they want the child for all the wrong reasons, and there's a man who tells them, see, I'm thankful that I'm not that kid who's there in your stomach. And in a situation like that, I don't think anyone is ready to have that child. And so there are a lot of situations we go through, and that's something the society should always know. It's not just about that the life that God gives. It's about what happens to this life after the 10 months. Once it's out in the world, it's something different. Then it'll have to experience everything. So that is something not everyone can handle. So I think it's always a choice. You have to give it to the parents if you want the child or not. It's one thing. And in talking about Surare Potra, there's a thing where the mother says the whole conversation happens where my brother is going to study more, where I'm not, allowed to study more because I'm anyway going to get married. So I feel like that still happens in our place, in the society, that's still there. But now, of course, yes, there are a lot of changes which has happened, but still there are, in certain places, there are girls where they face this. So I think it's very important for people to know that it's not right, and no matter what, if you want to reach somewhere, you can. No matter what, if you have a particular vision, if you have a particular aim, you'll nobody else needs to help you, and you have yourself to reach the goal.
Right. So you're clearly thinking actor. So you make the decisions you make are obviously always directed by our principles and our politics and stuff. So have you ever had to say no to a problematic script or such because of the kind of politics that it represents?
I don't remember, but I've actually said no to a lot of problematic things written in the script. Recently, also in one of my movies, they asked me to say this. I said I won't because it's not right, and it affects a lot of people. And I didn't want to use any of those situations to just promote my movie. Because I'm not a person who talks about all the political stuff that's happening in and around just to promote my movie. If you're showing something, do something. I mean, if I have it in the movie, I'll definitely talk about it. But these people try to just promote the movie with something of that sort, and I said I'm not going to do it because it's not right from my side. So that is something which I'll never do, and I've said no to a lot of dialogues, and I will always do that, I think.
So on that note, actually there was a slight controversy after you talked about the pay disparity in the field as such, and as soon as you came out with that comment, there were a lot of people like trolls who came out and started to criticize this. So do you think this award has put an added responsibility and added censorship on your shoulders as well, because the kind
That
of
is
response
there,
that you're getting?
but again, when I spoke about this, this particular topic because I felt at some point things were unfair, and fair is not equal. And what I'm talking is definitely equal it's not always about equal pay. There are a lot of conditions for that, because conditions as in, I mean if I've just come 6 years back, and I'm I cannot ask someone if, for example, I'm doing Kappa now. Manju Warrior was supposed to, Manju Chechi didn't have dates, so they actually replaced her character. I mean, they called me instead of, because she didn't have dates and she had to withdraw last minute, and they called me. Firstly, I was like really going crazy about the fact that they called me for a role that Manju Chichi was supposed to do. I'm a crazy fan of hers. And secondly, her experience and her the place she has in the film industry, and the way audience see her, that was earned since a very it's a work of, it's a hard work of a lot of years, and I cannot just go demand like whatever you're paying her you should pay me because I'm coming to that. That's not how it works, and that's where I'm talking about fair payment. I talk about a payment I want because I feel like I deserve it, and when I say I deserve it, I put 100% of my effort to a particular project. I can say that undoubtedly. So when I ask for a particular remuneration, I'm asking because I feel like I deserve it. So that's what I was talking about, being fair and not equal as such. That makes a huge difference. Yeah.
So yeah, you were saying that you have been here for what, 6 years,
Yeah.
7 years, and now you are going back to the same set as
Yeah.
with Tangam,
Yeah.
almost the same set as Maheshna
Yeah.
Prathigaram, right? How was that experience? At that time, you were a newbie basically. I heard you saying in some interview that it was like carrying a kindergarten student there. So how has it been different now?
Now it's more like when Shyametan explains a scene to me, he says the whole mood of the scene, and I'm able to do it by myself, and that's something I personally feel like a growth which has happened in me as an artist. And when I asked him, like, do you see a difference on whatever was happening in Maheshna Pradhiyaram and now, so he also said, yeah, you've changed a lot as an artist in a good way, and that actually made me really happy.
Uh, what are the other projects? I heard that Tinglaya Nishayam director,
Yeah,
with him
Padmini is
with
happening.
Padmini, yeah.
I mean, it's going to happen, and there's another project. I mean, Kappa, which I'm doing right now. In Utram is going to release, and Mindium Paranyam is going to release. Yeah.
So one thing I wanted to ask you is, you studied architecture, right? So architecture is like one field that requires almost as much it requires as much passion as acting requires probably. So how did that shift take place? How did you end up here?
Because of architecture only, because I chose architecture. My teacher was Unimaya ma'am. She's last year's state award winner for the best. Yeah. And she is the one who sent me an audition, this thing message, and asked me if I was interested, and that's how me and my mom went to try, and we got in, and that's how it all changed.
So do you still miss that
Yeah, definitely. Yes, I really miss architecture. I really miss, the whole effort I do to, I mean, I take to do to draw stuff, and I really love architecture.
have you thought of a parallel career?
Not right
to
now.
this,
Yeah, right now, no. But I hope in future I'll be able to do something.
And then you are a singer also. So you have quite a few, amazing songs to your name
Yeah.
right now. Do you want to, focus more on that
Yeah,
aspect?
definitely. I really have to focus a little bit more, because I've always been lazy and I've never, actually had a good set of practice sessions or anything. So I really have to work on it. And yeah, I hope I'll explore a lot more than what I'm doing right now.
I'm not going to ask you to sing because you're clearly not well. So I think we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, sure,
Do you have anything to say to our audience for
Yeah, like Sundari Gardens is on Sony Live, so I hope everyone watches the movie and enjoys it, because it's a movie that you can watch it in your time, your space. It's a very light-hearted, feel-good movie.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Aparna. Thank you everyone for watching. Before we wrap up the interview, please know that if you support what we are doing, become a member of TNM. Like, share and subscribe to our video. Thank you so much.